The origins of the Sea People are shrouded in mystery. The very name Sea People is very confusing. They had just as many battles on the land as they did on the sea. Years ago, when I was a student, a friend saw me reading a book about the Sea People. She said, "That's always been interesting to me." Then she said that she was interested about how people could live under the sea. So I said that the Sea People were a group of people that attacked people from the sea a lot, like from the beach on boats. The woman, she didn't understand and continued to talk about mermaids for some reason. So I quickly closed my book and asked about her weekend just to get. Egyptologists often call the Sea People by their various tribal names and not just a blanket statement, Sea People. Uh, Torsha, Luka, Shiklesh, Sheridan, Akawaska are some of their names. They crushed Ugarit, the Hittites, the Mycenaeans, the Cretans, and the people of Cyprus. The Sea Peoples are allied with Libyans and invaded Egypt. The Egyptians defeated both the Sea Peoples and the Libyans in many battles. The Sea People fought Egypt 3 times, always with the aid of the Libyans. The only place that wasn't hit by the Sea People in the whole region was the Phoenicians. Why is that? This is a Sea People's boat. This is a Phoenician boat. Before I share my theory, let's analyze the tribal names so they could see what they tell us about the origins of the Sea People. Tursha was the Thracians, actually. Luca was the Lydians who got on boats and sailed across the ocean. The Lydians became the Tarquinians or the Etruscans. The Tarquinian Sea was named from them. The capital of the Etruscans was Tarquinia. The Shiklesh and the Sardinians are next. The Sheridan may have been from another Thracian tribe, the Sherdi. The Akawaska were among the small number of Sea People that were circumcised. So the general interpretations could have been wrong that all the Sea Peoples were not circumcised. It was thought that they were Mycenaeans. Akawaska were from the Ahi Yawa kingdom in Anatolia. The Peliset became the Phoenicians. The Daniel and the Danoi were Danites in the Bible. And they eventually became the Spartans. And the Meshwesh is the Meshwesh of Libya in the book of that was described in Herodotus. The Tejeker are either Sicilian or Cretan. This name, so so the names so the names of the sea people mirror the names of the people that are attacked by the sea people. Why did the sea people start wandering in the first place? The Egyptian record states that the Libyans brought their whole family. They were moving because their grazing situation was ruined by a severe drought that affected the whole region. So, the stronger tribes pushed the weaker ones out. These tribes attacked Egypt. The sea people fled their islands. The Sicilians, the Etruscans combined with the Phoenicians, and they crushed the Mycenaeans. They joined the band, the Aramewasha attacked the Arawash attacked the Ugarit kingdom and Hattusha. These two people then joined the others. This multi-tribal army attacked the Libyans, and there's actual paintings and drawings of the attack between the Libyans and the sea people, how they were fighting. The sea people, they actually lost the fight, but they helped the Libyans fight Egypt. This army lost and returned to Libya after the fight was done.
Finally, the greatest Greek warriors gathered at Aulis and were ready to cross the sea to attack Troy. See Ilium Troy on map. However, the wind kept blowing against them, preventing them from sailing out towards Troy. This kept up for weeks, long enough for the troops to get restless and consider going home. The seer Calchas was among the group, and he told Agamemnon that he had angered the goddess Artemis and the wind would not allow them to make their voyage until Agamemnon sacrificed his daughter, Iphigenia, to the goddess. Sources differ on why exactly Artemis was so angry with Agamemnon. Some say he boasted that he could hunt better than the goddess, while others say that he had not done anything. Paris does abduct Helen, but the ship carrying the fugitive pair is blown off course and lands in Egypt, never making it to Troy. The Egyptian king Proteus then holds them in custody until Menelaus arrives. The Greek army does anyway lay siege to the city of Troy despite the Trojans insisting that Helen is not there but in Egypt. When Troy falls and Helen is not found, Menelaus then sails to Egypt to see if the Trojans had been telling the truth all along. Arriving at Memphis, Helen is reunited with her husband. Menelaus is keen to get home, but unreasonable weather keeps his ships in port. To change the weather and appease the gods, the Spartan king sacrifices 2 Egyptian children, shocking his hosts, who then pursue Menelaus to Libya but eventually lose him.
There's a reason why in all these modern depictions of the Vikings, where the Vikings are shown with helmets that have horns. Now, when they look into all the old evidence, all the archaeological evidence, they don't find any, very few, if any, helmets with horns on it from the Vikings. They find none, or very few. The reason why they're depicted with horns is because archaeologists and scientists and stuff like that was trying to make the Vikings look more exciting by mixing some of the characteristics of earlier people, and they're combining them with Viking folklore and stuff like that to try to paint a picture of people that's different than what they actually were. The people with the helmets, with the horns, riding in on boats and raiding and tearing stuff up and burning down cities and stuff like that was actually the Sherdin from the sea people actually wore horns on their helmets. So that's the whole reason why they got that, because they made a connection between, or they were trying to prove a connection between the sea people in ancient times and the Vikings of late antiquity. And that's the whole reason for it. And so then now all we got is depictions of Vikings wearing horns on the helmet when there was actually no instances of it, or very few. Because when you're fighting on a boat and you got the boats rocking and stuff like that, the last thing you really want on your head is a pair of horns because somebody's going to get stuck.